A client came to me because she'd been in business a few years and just wasn't making the income that she wanted. So we sat down and went over exactly what she thought she wanted, not just business, but her personal life. We helped her become extremely clear about her vision and her dreams, not only for her life, but her business, really honing in on those transformation areas so we can figure out the root of her blocks. It's very important to understand, right, that in order to create lasting, meaningful change in our lives, we should transform these specific areas. They are our mind, our emotions, our spirit, and our behavior. Most of the time, we get stuck in our mind because we're only using logic to overcome obstacles. And we forget that we are more than just our minds. We are more than just our thoughts. If we focus on cultivating a positive mindset, that's what's going to help you feel energized and motivated to achieve your goals long term so that you're not quitting halfway through. Having a positive mindset also helps you maintain a positive mood. That's why when you think of something that scares you, you actually start feeling afraid. If you go through your day holding on to negative emotions, your entire day ends up being riddled with bad experiences, one after the other, because that's the vibration that you're carrying with you. Positive emotions don't just help you feel good, but it helps improve job performance, relationships, helps you to fuel your mind to even just simply opening up to the idea of creating change, the idea of there being possibilities out there for you to actually take the steps that you need to take to make those shifts in your life, to create your dream life, to create your dream business, to let go of everything that's been dragging you down. This is when behavior comes in. If your behavior stays the same, you end up looping back into those negative patterns. You end up going back to shame, going back to regret, going back to fear, going back to losing hope. And this is the reason why you feel so disconnected to your goals. This is why you believe that it's never going to happen for you and that you're always going to struggle and that dreams were made for other people because it's just not meant for you. Success is just a wish and a dream. So you have to change your mind so that your emotions can change. And then your behavior will support that change. And then comes your spirit. When you are feeling defeated, broken, lost, when you're holding on to all those negative thoughts, negative emotions, there's absolutely no way that you're going to be able to even hold hope in your heart, because your heart, your spirit, your soul, that's where the magic happens. When you heal your spirit, your heart naturally fills out with such an abundance of love for yourself, love for others, love for your experiences, whether they were good, whether they were bad, love for the pure journey of what your personal life really truly is, your soul's purpose. And that's when you vibrate on such a higher frequency that abundance has no choice but to flow into your life with ease and flow. You cannot fix one area of your life and ignore the others. It just doesn't work that way. So while my beloved client had an amazing life, it was when we healed the inner child, when we healed the trauma, when we healed the expectations, the regret, the shame, the guilt, that's when her business truly blossomed. That's when her life filled with so much more abundance than she thought possible. I've been there. I've been in your shoes. I've been in the middle of struggle. Deep down, I've always known that I was meant for more, that my struggles were not in vain. There was something that I was meant to do, a journey, a special journey that I was supposed to be on. But for years, I was so focused on not failing my kids, not failing my family, not failing the expectations that people imposed upon me. And I just took it and absorbed it. I absorbed it as my own. That I didn't pay attention to the little voice inside my head that said, stop it. Stop putting yourself last. Stop ignoring the pain. Stop ignoring your own happiness. Stop fearing starting over. Because there is a great fear of letting go of the life you thought you wanted, the job you thought you wanted, to let go of what's currently in front of you because it just doesn't fill you. It doesn't fill your spirit. It doesn't fill your heart. And to have to accept the fact that your life right now, it's not your dream life, and it's not what you really wanted. It just doesn't fill you up with the joy that you thought it would. To let go of that and to admit that you were part of the problem, that this is the life you created, that is a hard pill to swallow. It is hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I chose that. And whether you chose that consciously or subconsciously, it doesn't matter, because you were a manifester of your life. It took me a long time to get to the point in my life where I started to put myself first. I remember I was in Paris at a writer's retreat, pitching my novel to a group of award-winning producers, screenwriters, directors. And I remember all I could do when I got up in front of them was cry. And I wasn't crying because my novel, as heart-wrenching as it was, because it was reflecting the story of my childhood, I wasn't crying about that. I was crying because in that moment, I realized that I had been living my mother's life. And that was something that I just vowed never to do. My mother lived decades of abuse at the hands of my father. And she chose that life to give my sister and I a home. Not a completely happy home all the time. It wasn't a bed of roses, but nevertheless, it was a roof over our heads and we had food on the table. And I can see her spirit die every day. And I can still hear her voice telling me the stories of her dreams that she had to put on hold. So anytime I thought to myself, today is the day I choose me first, today is the day I love myself first, I heard my mother in my ears telling me that my happiness was a very small price to pay for the abundant life that I had. And by all intents and purposes, I had an amazing life. I mean, who wouldn't want a life with live-in nannies and 4-hour champagne brunches and cooks and drivers and travel all over the globe? I did have an amazing life, but it was an empty life. It was a life filled with ignoring my husband's infidelities, because I was too giving my kids a roof over their heads and private school and a father. That is the mindset that I was in. Those are the thoughts and the beliefs that I carried with me for many years. But it was that thinking, it was those beliefs that kept me paralyzed. It was the process of only operating from the mind, from the logical side, instead of listening to my heart. So even though I bombed that pitch, it was an amazing experience. It was an eye-opening experience for me. And I knew that upon returning home, I had to walk away from my marriage. And that was the hardest decision I've had to make in my life thus far. But I had decided that I wanted to be in the driver's seat of my life. And in order to do that, consciously, I had to accept the fact that I played a part in the way my life had turned out. And let me tell you that I was riddled with fear, okay? Fear because I hadn't had a job in over 6 years. I was a stay-at-home mom with my girls, you know, all my expenses and necessities were taken care of. My youngest child at the time was 5 years old when I filed for divorce. But I kept thinking, what's the alternative? When is it my time to be happy? When is it my time to be truly loved and truly respected and truly valued? You can't imagine fighting for the right to live your life on your own terms in a foreign country with no family and no income of your own. Every fear that I had been hoarding in my mind had come to fruition, because what you focus on expands. But when you learn to work with the universe instead of against it, it's a game changer. Because life, this life, your life, is not about struggle. Life is not about just having enough love, just having enough time, enough money, enough happiness. The only limitations in your life are the ones you create with your mind. In 2 years, I went from being homeless to being debt-free. I went from uncertainty of my future to publishing 14 books, from fear of starting over to gaining custody of my daughter, and building a business that I absolutely love. A business where I can help others create their dream life. Do you wish you had the courage to create your dream life? Do you have the courage, but you just don't know what the next steps are? I can show you the steps from doubtful to confident and empowered. My name is Millie Martinez. I'm a published author and success strategist. And it is my absolute passion to help you heal from trauma so that you can move forward, step into that dream life, claim it, because it is your birthright, and to do it with ease and fun. So if you're ready to claim your divine right to abundance, if you're ready to stop giving pieces of your soul in exchange for just enough, then it would be my privilege to help you. Because you have every right to be happy. You have every right to claim success. You have every right to demand love, respect, joy. But first, you have to choose differently. So if you're ready to get in the driver's seat of your life, let's get on a call.